We're back here in the studio. Avi Melamed is a fellow of intelligence and Middle East affairs at the Eisenhower Institute in Washington. Avi, thanks very much for being with me.
My pleasure.
So we'll recap what maybe we didn't fully see in that report. We're talking about a country that has major players involved, the United States and Russia, who were creating a truce just about a week ago, now are at each other's throats at the UN Security Council, no less. What do you think is actually happening between those two countries today as they speak at the UN?
Well, the big winner as of now in Syria is Putin, and Putin has no intention to let it go. The Americans are starting to realize that they may have been doing some major mistakes in Syria. The truce, or allegedly the truce that was achieved between the United States and Russia, of course, didn't hold the water because it was groundless. As of now, there are substantial gaps between the US and Russia regarding the way they view the situation in Syria. And mostly, I think, because the American administration all of a sudden realized that in the end of the day, Russia and Putin is currently the big winner in Syria. There has been some assumptions within the American administration that Russia's involvement, direct involvement in the war in Syria starting in September or October 2015 is going to lead to the fact that Russia will sink in the Syrian mud. It didn't happen. And as of now, as I said before, they have two totally different outlooks at the situation.
In your eyes, is Russia just sort of flaunting itself in the face of the United Nations? We're seeing a truce that ended right before the UN General Assembly started. We're seeing some pretty strong statements coming from both sides and continued airstrikes just today battering Aleppo.
I wouldn't take the statement so seriously. I would take the action seriously.
Well, the actions are quite clear on the ground.
Very clear on the ground. Russia is back in the Middle East. Putin has no intention to let go. As far as he is concerned, he is now harvesting a very good strategic dividends in relatively very low investment. Syria, as a stage, became a very successful stage for Putin.
What is his long-term investment in Syria? Where does Vladimir Putin see Russia 5 years from now in the Middle East?
As a regional superpower, that basically as a global superpower that actually calls the day. Today, as a fact, all the players in the Middle East, all of them, Israel, Egypt, Iran, Turkey, the Arab states, they are all not only talking to Putin, they are going to Moscow to talk to Putin. As of now, Putin...
Stepping into his office.
That is correct. Putin holds the cards. The Iranians are not very happy with the presence of Putin in Russia, in Syria, but they don't really have much other choice because he's the one that's securing, as of now, the endurance of Assad in power, which is the highest interest of the Iranians.
So if we're talking about Russia that is so powerful, that is sort of holding all of the cards at this moment, and that is an ally of the Assad regime. And today we also heard from President Bashar al-Assad telling the AP, he said, enemies alone were to blame for nearly 6 years of war. That doesn't sound like talk from somebody who's interested in any kind of solution.
The matter of the fact is that Assad is no longer so relevant in the context of the war in Syria, because if the time will come, and maybe it will come, that Putin will decide that Assad is no longer relevant, he will step down, one way or the other. The Russians have all kinds of ways to make people step down. Assad is not really the big player in Syria. We have to remember, Putin is the big player in Syria. The Iranians are very much dependent upon Putin. As of now, he is the big winner.
That will be our takeaway for tonight. If President Bashar al-Assad in Syria is no longer the big player, but actually it is the superpowers or attempted superpowers in the Middle East, something to watch out for. Avi Melamed, thanks very much, as always, for being with us. And that's it for us for tonight, for this week. We'll be back tomorrow, back on Sunday, rather. We're going out.